The world as we know it is a strange place. Filled with mysteries, great questions, and unexplored territories, our planet is full of strange anomalies from the great seas to the vast plains. From our great bodies to the human made world of the internet. And even outside of our great home, in the great cosmos of space and the never ending world of math and science, there are great questions which seems impossible to solve. In this video, I will cover the iceberg of great and unsolved mysteries which plague our consciousness. This iceberg was made by useless salty crackers .mp4 on Reddit, and he has done a great job of digging down to try and find the great mysteries known to man. While some might be conspiracies, some might be legends, all hold mysteries that we are yet to uncover. So, let's dig down the rabbit hole of mysteries and see what great questions are bogging the mind of humanity. WebDriver Torso. WebDriver Torso is an interesting channel on YouTube which used to be clouded in mystery. The channel today has stopped working as it used to, but what it once did was kind of extraordinary. It would frequently post clips of blue and red boxes flashing from shape to shape while weird beeping noises could be heard in the background, changing pitch just like the shape flashed. These videos were spammed out, some being 10 seconds long, while others would last hours, all being uploaded with almost no time in between. The lack of explanation for why this would happen made this instantly one of the weirdest phenomenons found on the web. Or, well, it used to be a mystery, but Google themselves went out of their way saying that it was a way of testing YouTube's graphics and volume quality. They have even acknowledged the channel with a little icon change when you Google for WebDriver Torso on Google. It used to have a lot of theories behind it, like this was a result of someone going mad and only uploading these, while others, less intelligent people might I say, said that it was aliens. I don't think so. But for a brief period of time, this used to be one of the net's biggest mysteries. Mario 64 Iceberg. This is not that much of a mystery, as it is the start of a lot of mysteries. The thing that really kickstarted this whole iceberg thing was the Super Mario 64 Iceberg, which has been covered an unlimited amount of times. The iceberg itself holds a lot of mysteries, like L is real, the Wario head, the unused data, and way more. Some have been solved, while others are still lacking an explanation. The game really got more interesting after this was made, giving the game a whole new feel, with the many Easter eggs and glitches you can now try and explore. It almost became a horror game of sorts. Is Wario hidden inside the code? And is every game personalized to have a special experience? The Mario 64 Iceberg should be praised more than it currently is, because without that, a lot of channels would not be existing right now, and nightmares wouldn't have been had. Loch Ness Monster. This is a classic mystery which everyone knows. The Loch Ness Monster is a mystery in the Lake of Loch Ness in Scotland. Apparently, someone took a picture of what looks to be a monster swimming around in the lake nearby. A lot of weird things have been seen in the area of Loch Ness, like Nessie, the Boleskine House, and Elsa Crowley. He's weird. Very weird. But Nessie himself has become quite the phenomenon. Was a dinosaur-like creature really floating around the lake? People really want to know, as an entire expedition had been sent out to try and find him, but nothing ever came of it. We have never seen him since that one picture, making it hard to come with any hard proof that he exists. The fact that he lives in a lake as well makes it very easy to prove, as you would simply scan the lake for any evidence. Even though you might be a believer, I doubted he was anything more than a hoax. But if any kind of Loch Ness-like monsters actually exist is still unknown. Bigfoot. Ah look, it's Bigfoot. Yeah, it's him right there. What more proof do you want than a blurry picture from some stranger? Bigfoot is a classic example of a world mystery. The classic legend of a previously unknown creature which seems so mysteriously and uncertain. He has gathered what can be described as a community of sorts, with many people wanting to know more about this strange mystery. But is it really a mystery? Here's a map of all the places that Bigfoot have been found. Apparently, Sasquatch is a world renowned traveler. Also, look at these facts we know about him. Ah, yes, that helps the case. And now back to the original image. And now some others. A shapeshifter? It's a very unstable legend, considering the fact that it's simply a low risk JPEG. But I'm not going to crush your dreams. If you believe that he exists and that he can be found, then you should keep believing in it. But I do not. The Roswell Crash. The Roswell crash was an incident in the desert of Lincoln County, New Mexico, USA, when an alleged flying saucer crashed down in the hot desert. In other words, this is where all those alien theories began. The American Air Force has described the object as being a disc-shaped and from an unknown origin. The Americans later called it nothing more than a crashed weather balloon and nothing special. But the conspiracy theories began otherwise. They were convinced that this was proof that aliens had crash landed on Earth. Many different theories were born from this incident, and many took this as the only proof needed for explaining alien visits on Earth. This has, however, also been called the most thoroughly debunked UFO claim. The US did multiple thorough investigations and reports on the matter and has concluded many times that this saucer was a part of Project Moogle, and top secret project by the Americans to try and observe sound waves generated by the Soviet Union from a long distance. One of the balloons crashed near Roswell, and then the alien stuff began. I mean, we have a report on the matter. It's a balloon. No aliens were found. Nothing special was found. If aliens actually were found that day, they would have told us already. So is it a mystery? No, it's not. Michigan Blue Hell. The Michigan Blue Hell is an urban legend which says that somewhere in Michigan's extensive underground tunnels, there's a passage out of reality itself. Apparently, reality, everything and anything, the entire fabric of being and consisting, can be broken in Michigan. If you didn't know, Blue Hell is a name used for glitches you can find in video games, where you can clip through the map and down into the abyss where a blue hell can be seen. It's a phenomenon based on a theory that video game glitches can be real. I mean, we know that the Earth is round. Where would you fall into? The core? No one knows exactly where to find these specific tunnels, both because Michigan has a rich history of underground tunnels and caves, meaning that there are a bunch to discover, and also because the tunnels aren't real. No, you can't convince me that this is real. It's not a mystery, it's a hoax. You can't fall through the fucking earth. I'm sorry, but you can't. Normal porn for normal people. I don't know. It's for the video, but that name is so bad. I know I shouldn't. But how's it connect the video? No, fuck it. Let's see what it is. Oh, well, that isn't that bad. Yeah, so apparently, normal porn for normal people.com is a website where you can buy Viagra and other sex helping medicine. Well, of course it isn't. That was the beginning. This goes much deeper. Normal porn for normal people is a creepypasta with an unknown origin. It started out with an email that simply says, "Hi there. Found this website very nice, thought you might like, normalpornfornormalpeople.com, pass it on for the good of mankind." Nothing more and nothing less. If you try to contact the person who sent the email, you get nothing. Some people have tried to dig down the rabbit hole and have searched through the site to try and find some normal porn. But if you're like me and can smell irony from up to 7 kilometers away, then this porn might not be that normal. While trying to make a link, you can actually discover some videos which have been uploaded to some cryptic site of the website. The first video to be found was a video called Peanut.avi, which is just a dog eating a peanut butter jelly sandwich. Oh yeah, that's hot. Already people are scratching their heads at this porn site, but when you dig deeper down, you can find more videos. There are a whole list of .avi videos that can be found on the website, but there is one that is very different from the rest. Useless.avi is a video on the website which depicts a woman being tied to a mattress. After some time, a chimpanzee enters the room guided by a mysterious man. The monkey now begins to maul her, assault her, and finally kill her, whereafter the chimp eats her flesh. The whole ordeal is filled with mysteries. Why would a chain link be sent out to people about a cryptic site? Who searches for it? Is it porn for normal people? Why is users.avi on here? This creepypasta is a strange rabbit hole to dig down into, yet it is also quite mysterious. Satan Sphinx Video. Satan Sphinx Video is a lost footage video and urban legend. It is said that the content of the film was hidden away by the US government because it was too disturbing. It could apparently lead people to become depressed, sleepless, and even mental. Even though it's nothing more than an internet legend, it can be found on YouTube and it shows weird pictures of demonic worship, weird wares, and a lot of unexplanatory shit. This thing is kind of overhyped, and personally, it isn't that scary if you're deliberately searching for it. The weird origins of these pictures and the weird noise in the background have led it to become a famous internet mystery. Yet, this whole thing is also fake. At least you think it is. Scare Theater got an email from a guy who claimed to be the original creator of the video, saying it was a mix of still images he found on the web and a mashup of three songs played in reverse. But again, he's just some guy who messaged him. He could also just be a faker. It's not the most mysterious thing on here, but it's a bit of a rabbit hole to dig down into. 11BX1371. 11BX1371 is a weird and unnerving video posted on YouTube with about 4.5 million views. The video depicts a plague doctor in an abandoned building of sorts with a black and white overlay. The video is said to have a hidden message which is yet to be debunked, with both sounds, numbers, and figures apparently having some kind of hidden message. What is behind the video is rather unknown and strange, and can surely intrigue the mind. Yet, it's not that hard to crack at all. It's a video on YouTube, not some message from a far away planet. You are literally a few clicks away from solving it. Also, which kind of strange monster has a Patreon? The puzzles can be kind of mysterious and maybe even slightly creepy, but it's not that bad. When putting the audio through a spectrogram, it reveals the image of a woman being tortured. Alright. There's also another hidden message saying that they are the antivirus. Now, some might think this is because of the coronavirus and say that they predicted it, but that's a bit far-fetched. The video was made by Park Wright, who has done other videos with a familiar theme. But the truth is that the video itself was a film project, and that also makes sense. Cicada 3301. Cicada is a long and cryptic rabbit hole which started back in 2012 from 4chan. And I know 4chan, but follow me here, right? This will make sense. Cicada is an unknown and cryptic organization of intellectuals, code breakers, programmers, and hackers. When it all started in 2012, anyone was welcome to join, but they had to dig down one of the most cryptic rabbit holes ever witnessed on the web. Translations, code breaking, length and width, even going to real life locations to scan a QR code. You had to know what you were doing to get even one step in the puzzle's maze. Truly, Cicada would only welcome professionals. There were multiple waves of recruitment, yet we don't know who came through and what happened to those who did. All who spoiled even a small bit of the adventure to the group or the group itself would never have the option to become a member. It's obvious that some were not that quiet as we know most of the route to becoming a member. What happened to the group? Where are they now? We don't know. There's been a lot of speculations, yet no solid proof. An actual mystery. If you want to dig deeper down the rabbit hole, Lemino made a good video about it. He also makes good music. Quite a good guy. He is Swedish though, but still. Geetis. Geetis is a weird creature which gained popularity back in 2017. It all began with a comedian called Nate Fernald who tweeted about a strange badge he found of a strange cartoon bear creature called simply Geetis. But who or what was this strange creature? There was nothing about it on the internet. Google, Reddit, and Twitter all came back empty handed. It drove him and made others insane. What was this strange creature? So familiar, yet so not. After digging and digging, a bunch of stickers began to surface. And there he was, little Geetus. And from here on out, we found out that this was a sticker made by Sam Petrucci, an American artist who did work for Hasbro, G.I. Joe, and also the stickers from The Land of Tar. Now that might explain the character, but what about the pins? They were made by Sam, The Land of Tar, or the creators Denizen. So who made that? Absolutely no one knows. While Geddes was a long and interesting mystery, the Geddes pin is still even more of a mystery. Lavender Town. Lavender Town is a town in Pokemon Red and Blue which is known for being quite eerie. The whole area is supposed to be the ghost type area, with strange and creepy individuals and a giant cemetery right next to the town. The most popular urban legend and mystery from this place would have to be the Lavender Town theme. It is said that the Japanese version of the song made kids so depressed that they ended up killing themselves. Yet that is not the only mystery from this area. There is a ghost hand, which can be seen in the anime, the buried alive enemy, and Blue's dead Raticate. But are any of them actual mysteries or just creepypastas? There hasn't been any documented suicides from Pokemon. The ghost hand was an Easter egg, buried alive, and the Raticate is also just a creepypasta. So it's mostly just simple internet ghost stories. But they still spark quite the mystery. And were great stories. MK Ultra. MK Ultra was a project made for the American Central Intelligence Agency, also known as the CIA, to try and see if they could get confessions out of people through brainwashing and psychological torture. The project consisted of a series of experiments and tests on human subjects, some of which were illegal. Some of the experiments consisted of trying to hypnotize people into confessions, forcing the patient to take LSD in hopes of making them defect from their posts, trying to force amnesia over patients, only to mention a few. There are a bunch of things they did, whole lists of them. When these reports inevitably reached the public, there were an outcry by the American people who didn't like the fact that their own government did human experiments and tried to use drugs to try and brainwash people. The mystery, however, is the results. We don't know if they actually found a way of controlling people or brainwashing them, since no document confirmed or deconfirmed these facts. MK Ultra is dead, however, and was only made because of the Red Scare in the US, considering that MK Ultra was launched during the height of the Cold War. But the CIA still holds documents which might reveal more about MK Ultra and maybe even some of their victories, but they maybe don't want the public to see those. Useless.avi. So this is awkward. So you already know that useless.avi was that video from normal porn from normal people. So I wonder why the creator would put it on here twice. Well, I guess I could try to dig deeper down to see if I can find some more things about it. So the video literally got deleted 3 days after it was discovered, probably because of all the people now knowing of such a video existing. It is very gruesome for a porn video. A lot of people claim the video to be real, and they do have screenshots and whatnot to prove it. Yet it has mostly been deleted, so again, a bit of a mystery. Polybius. Polybius was a weird and strange arcade machine which could be found around America. The arcade showed up seemingly out of nowhere. The arcade was a black box with blue stripes on it. The game had shining shapes and colors, and some say that men in black frequently came and studied these machines. The arcade became clouded in mystery and conspiracy as two kids supposedly disappeared after playing the game. Another kid claimed he was abducted after playing the game, whereafter he had mind-altering side effects. There has been many movies and series inspired by these events, and even conspiracies saying they was a part of MK Ultra. But nothing major was discovered surrounding these mysteries. We still don't know what Polybius really was. The game today should mostly be gone, which only fueled the conspiracies, saying that it got too far and those behind it had to remove it in case of revealing more about this conspiracy. But truly, we don't know what it was and why those weird things around it happened. The Dyatlov Pass Incident. The Dyatlov Pass incident was an incident which found place east of the Ural Mountains in the former Soviet Union, where 9 hikers went missing and later found dead between the 1st and 2nd of February in 1959. The cause of death is the mystery in this case, as no official cause of death was signed. The bodies and the later autopsy didn't help either, and only made things way more bizarre, as their bodies had all been damaged in an almost unnatural way. Some had apparently died of hypothermia, some died of intense major damage like a crack in their skull or severe chest trauma. Some had their eyes missing, one was missing his tongue, and one was missing his eyebrows. Some of the bodies were found near a creek, while some were found near the camp. As you can hear, these deaths does not make it easy to pinpoint a single cause of death. A ton of theories have therefore been put forward, like extreme harsh weather, an out-of-hand panic, military intervention, or aliens. Fucking aliens. The Dyatlov Pass incident still boggles the minds of many Russian citizens to this day. The lack of explanation to what happened and the many theories put forward only makes things more cloudy, so we might never know what actually happened to those 9 hikers. A true mystery. Pizzagate. Pizzagate is a term coined for a popular conspiracy theory back in 2016 around the time of the US presidential election and has ties with the QAnon conspiracy theory. The theory surrounds many key politicians of the Democratic Party, DC police, human trafficking, Satan, and a child sex slave ring. The theory was that Hillary Clinton and her backers were a key link with the traffic of child sex slaves. Now, why would they be called Pizzagate, you might ask? Well, many pizzerias held a key part of this trafficking, as it was there the children were held. The theory was made by the alt-right, both to make the Democrats look bad, therefore weakening them during the election, and also because it was just a bit of fun. I mean, nobody really took it that seriously, right? The whole thing sounds extremely far-fetched. Not only the fact that top politicians own a child sex trafficking ring, but there's also the fact that pizzerias were part of it. So bizarre. Well, this is America, so you know the drill. A man went into the pizzeria joint called Comet Ping Pong and opened fire inside the building to try and save the children. Of course, nothing was found because the whole ordeal was fake. But of course, some didn't back out and just doubled down on the idiot train and said that this shooting was a cover up. It isn't. The whole thing was fake because, of course, it was. Pizzagate, or rather the shooting at Comet Ping Pong, is but one brick in a giant puzzle QAnon conspiracy theory. But that is for another day and a whole other mystery. JFK Autopsy Report. After the assassination of US President John F. Kennedy on November 22, 1963, the world spun into a temporary state of chaos and uncertainty. The sheer surprise that a US president got shot in the middle of the Cold War led to a lot of speculation and theorizing, which only made the world a more uncertain place. There's a lot of mysteries and theories surrounding the assassination, but the main mystery here is JFK's autopsy report, filled from Maryland. When looking over the body, the doctors concluded that two of the three bullets had hit the president, while the other bullet struck the governor of Texas ahead of him. These reports were filled with speculation and were looked at multiple times. While most medical professionals agreed the bullets came from behind the president's body, some believe that a large fracture of the president's skull could only happen if a bullet was shot from the front right. It was here that most theories sparked from, that there was a second or even a third shooter. An example of this could be the Umbrella Man theory, which says that this guy was the second shooter. The weird exit and re-entry of one bullet also have a lot of speculation about it, being called the magic bullet theory, since it went through his body many times. Even though most things surrounding the death of JFK is well known, the autopsy gives root to a lot of theories and a feeling of uncertainty. Was there more to this than simply Lee Harvey Oswald? Was there a different shooter? More shooters? Nothing more than more mysteries and speculation. Temple OS Hidden Code. The Temple OS is a biblical themed lightweight operating system designed to be the third temple prophesied in the Bible. The program was made by Terry A. Davis, who is praised for making this. A lot of people say that he is on par with the big coding stars, since he was able to make this entire thing all by himself. However, Terry didn't have it well all the time. He had many manic episodes, which he has said was a revelation from God. He was most likely programming during some of these episodes. Despite the program getting an overwhelming amount of positive views, there are still some things that people wonder about when it comes to the program. While the whole thing has about 100,000 lines of code, some say that he made some hidden ones during his manic episodes. But, as the majority of people say, there hasn't been found anything at all, so this whole hidden code stuff is most likely fake. Yet, he was one of the world's most intelligent coders, so who's to think that he didn't hide something for some reason? But even then, people say that the code is rather easy to search through. While people claim that there is nothing to find, people have been wrong before, and who knows, maybe he has hidden something. I doubt we have cracked all 100,000 lines of it, so we never know. Meat stations. After searching through meat markets and meat grinders, I have finally found what they meant by meat stations. Meat stations is a conspiracy theory which says that there are people out there who are selling human meat like a butcher shop. A meat station for cannibals, if you will. Because it's a conspiracy, there's a lot of layers to this. Some say it's simply a black market thing, selling meat and human organs and whatnot. Others think it's a chain of cannibals, while some believe it's reptiles, because you gotta love conspiracies. Of course, no one openly sells human organs and flesh, since that's, well, illegal, so that's why it's a conspiracy. You don't openly want to commercialize your own cannibal shop, so they have to keep it secret, which is why it's hard to find. Others claim that being a human butcher is kind of a hard job since no one really wants to buy human flesh. So, also, normally when cannibals want meat, they either get someone to volunteer or they just kill them. So, a meat station is not really worth it. So, do meat markets actually exist in some variation at least? We don't know. Totally, at least. Well, there's a black market for organs, but that's not really a meat station. The real Sad Satan game. The Sad Satan game is a game that I've talked about a lot, since it's creepy, mysterious, and unknown in its essence, and is perfect for icebergs. The basics of the game is that it's apparently one of the most disturbing games out there, with rumors of it having both heavy satanic influence, gore, and child pornography. But the game is, and this is most likely where the problem and mystery arises, is that there are two versions of these games, a real and a fake one. The only problem is that it can be difficult to pinpoint which the real game. The first Sad Satan game is a simple horror game trying to scare you in whatever way it can, while the second fake version was a game made more or less to fuck around with those who've installed it. The fake game was filled with viruses and would break the computer that it was playing on. Now, which of these is the actual scary one? Well, whichever one it is, we do know that the second one is clouded in mystery and might be more legend than fact. So it's better a mystery. Is this game out there? Is there a game out there which is so brutal and so horrifying that it would truly get the title of most disturbing game? Or is it just a virus? Crystal skulls. Despite having gotten an alien image from Indiana Jones, crystal skulls were real things in our reality. These skulls were found in the pre-Columbian Mesoamerican area and were made by quartz, and were used in Mayan and Aztec culture. They were found and sold to the museums in London and Paris by the French antiquities dealer Eugene Bobin, who did a lot of studying and searching in Mexico City. What these skulls were for is rather unknown. We just know that it wasn't aliens, yet we still have some ideas of what it might be. It was most likely some kind of cultural thing. We do know that skulls had a big part in Mesoamerican culture, using a lot more than just crystals to form and make skulls. Some even believe that they have supernatural powers, being able to cure cancer and give people visions. Even though they are beautiful and interesting, we still don't know the complete story of these skulls, and since they can be even thousands of years old, we might never know the actual story. Furthest Void. The furthest void is an enormous, approximately spherical region in outer space which houses an unusually low amount of galaxies and galaxy clusters. While the surrounding area is filled with galaxies and even lights up from the amount of them there, the furthest void is black, dark, and abandoned. Even though Furthest isn't the only void in the galaxy, it is by far the biggest, being up to 330 million light years wide. That many light years of near emptiness. The reason why there are so few galaxies in the area is rather unknown by astrologers, yet some theories have been put forward. One being that this huge pocket of near nothingness was made from other small pockets of nothingness being dragged together like bubbles in soap dust. While the origins of the sphere might be a mystery, Birdie's void in itself seems to be a natural occurrence, yet on a universal scale. I mean, it's fucking mind-blowingly huge. Like, we're never going to imagine the sheer size of this thing. The underground Paris tunnels. The Paris underground tunnels, better known as the Paris catacombs, are a series of tunnels and rooms under the city of Paris stretching a whole 300 kilometers. While these catacombs have become a fine tourist attraction with a long history, eerie vibe, and bones of up to 6 million people, it also has a deeper side. Since these catacombs are so long and abandoned, there are many secrets to be found and many folk tales about these catacombs. Some rooms are said to never been found, housing dark secrets and being home of squatters and other people with weird interests, as both a cinema, bar, galleries, and even living areas in the abandoned parts of the catacombs can be found. The police wandering the area have even found security cameras down there, except they were not placed by the state of Paris. There are also the tale of an uncovered video camera, a true story about a camera that was found and discovered in a dark corner of the tunnels. When watching the clip, it shows a cataphile who regularly explores and walks through the catacombs, slowly getting lost in the catacombs. He later goes into a panic, running around in hopes of getting out, not wanting to end up like the rest of the bodies in there. He ends up dropping the camera, yet doesn't stop to pick it up. What happens to the man is still unknown to this very day. Some say they can hear voices down there, and that it's the home of satanic rituals and cults. But is it true? The satanic stuff might be a bit sketchy, but the other things did happen. Yet that is only the thing that we have found. These catacombs are filled with dark secrets which are only waiting to be discovered. A dark maze of secrets and undiscovered rooms. Secret Disneyland Tunnels. The Disneyland Tunnels, also known as the Utilidor, is a series of underground tunnels that can be found beneath the Disney parks, and they are some of the world's largest. These tunnels are used mostly by the park support system, where trash can be transferred and custom characters can wander through to get from one end of the park to another, to not ruin the illusion of the place. It also holds other functions, like being a kitchen and being a support room, basically being the inner organ of the amusement park. It was also the idea of Walt Disney himself. Even though these tunnels might be a secret, it isn't a mystery. Yet, what could be down there might be. Regular customers aren't allowed to walk through, so they might hold many other secrets that we might not know. You can only begin to imagine the amount of things that Disney could hide. Not that it's much, but still a mystery. Secret human organs. There are mysteries all around us, in front of us, behind us, beside us, but now they are inside of us. We have studied the human body for as long as we have existed to try and understand ourselves, yet we are still researching to this very day, and we are still discovering new things. We only have to go back to 2020 where we found a whole new secret organ in our heads. Yeah, it's the brain. We didn't know idiots like you could have them. But whatever, we are still searching for some hidden parts of our body, and there's a high chance that we most likely haven't found them all yet. Our body is always evolving, just like our technology, so we might just stumble upon some newly, previously unknown parts of our body sometimes in the future. And the cool thing is that this mystery is not far away, it's right inside of you. In there, another mystery resides, just waiting to be uncovered. The real Eratus. Eratus is a myth and infinite tale surrounded in some shades of mystery. Eratus is a bit of a ghost story about an algorithm which traces down people who search for the term and collects data from them. Since it's data collecting, you know that the big tech companies are all over it. There is no proof of that being, since no one claims to have ever seen it or used it, and it's also from 4chan, so no. The image itself, if you're wondering, is from Maui Police Department in Honolulu, and is a police kit of a man who tried to attack a 72-year-old woman. What a dick. Although we know the story and the image are fake, that doesn't stop the whole thing from being kind of creepy. A YouTuber tried to prove that a rat was real by putting in a small hidden Morse code message to see if a rat would pick it up. If a rat did pick it up, the video, which was about Jurassic Park, would be removed because of the message. This didn't work for multiple reasons, and it was going to be just that. In the video where it talks about it, called Here Goes Nothing, the automated YouTube messages read very strange and bizarre phrases like overthrow the government, which no one could explain since they, of course, were automated by the system. Later on, 2 days later, the channel was suddenly abandoned. Some see this as proof, thinking that he got silenced since he might have figured something out. I know, a bit far-fetched. Yet, it's still one of the many small and weird mysteries surrounding this strange thing known as simply Eratus. Number stations. Number stations are weird and mostly forgotten radio waves that can be picked up on the radio. These radio broadcasts are mostly code, being sent from one secret agency to another, or to spies, or to a third or unknown part. The code is, of course, ciphered and cryptic, either being simple numbers or Morse code, having a hidden message which is only supposed to be picked up by a few. However, these are picked up by strangers as well, which can only ponder on what these strange messages can be. These number stations have existed since World War II and are still in great use today, since they are perfectly made for all kinds of espionage. They, of course, also follow a whole lot of mysteries since no one really knows what they are coming from. These codes being clearly cryptic, yet still obviously a code for something, It's its own world of riddles and head scratchers. What could be behind these codes? It's a mystery that you aren't going to solve, but someone else is going to. 4chan alien image. 4chan. Uh, so on 4chan, a lot of mysteries surface, with many still being unknown or mysterious. I mean, it is a site well known for trolls, but sure, let's see what you got for us. Aliens? Fucking Christ. No, sorry. You believe that pictures of aliens from a site known for trolling and telling lies is a bloody mystery? Well, then I'm about to be Sherlock fucking Holmes because that is faker than my future career. Yeah, it's an alien picture that isn't blurry. Oh crap, who cares? Aliens haven't visited Earth. Just because it's 4K doesn't mean it's more special than the others. It also follows all the expected tricks. It's an American desert, it's a scaly gray guy, there's no evidence attached, no nothing. There's nothing special about this post. Some say it's real because the site shut down 5 minutes after the post got posted, and the whole post was removed during the shutdown. Seeing this as proof that someone took down the server to take down the evidence. That is so not true, considering that OP himself said that he removed it, and that the shutdown of the server didn't affect him or the post in any way. I think I lost my temper there. Well, it's alien. What do you expect? I have a thing for that. Sorry. And no, it's not a mystery. It's fake. It's not a mystery. The OP himself says it's not a mystery. Such a virtual bubble, but whatever. Next post. Torreson field theory. Oh god, it's quantum pseudoscience. Hide your college professors. So since this is some kind of high level science shit, which humanities students like myself aren't used to, and just look at it in amazement, there's a lot of strong words, phrases, and theories which is going to puzzle my head. So to get us started in physics, a field is an assignment of a quantity, vector, tensor, or spinor, to every point of the space contacting it. The word torsion refers to any variable that describes rotation, thus Torreson's fields. The theory goes that certain elements, if treated in the right way, could send information through the vacuum faster than the speed of light. If this was real, we could potentially send information, or maybe even people, to outer space. Yet, don't get your hopes up, since this theory was made as a scam to get more money out of the Russian government and into their own pockets by scientists. But the theory, even though it is pseudoscience, does have the potential to be real, yet hard to prove with our current technology. But someday in the future, we might be able to perform an experiment which could reveal if this theory is right or not. Cape Matapan Caves. The Cape Matapan Caves on the Greek island of Laconia is a series of underground caves and tunnels that is said to lead to Hades. That just sounds like a Greek version of the Paris catacombs. It stands as the same as the catacombs, having a low level of tunnels, being mysterious and mostly unknown. Yet, these are also different in the fact that they aren't nearly as popular and are also made by nature instead of men. Since these caverns have an important role in Greek mythology, the caves have mostly been cut off for the public access, as not to destroy the site. Yet it wasn't always like that. Pirates used to hide treasure down these caves, and people have tried to live in the caves before. There's been a lot of archaeological finds in these areas, but since these caves are so deep, we don't know what is actually down there. There could be more treasure, more history, or maybe there is actually a path to the underworld. Unlikely, but still a mystery per definition. Joseph Mengele's successes. Joseph Mengele, also known as the Angel of Death, was a Nazi SS doctor who did experiments on Jews and Poles in Auschwitz. Many of these experiments were not some you would see in the modern day, as they were cruel and inhumane. He did a lot of experiments, but in one particular area. Mengele wanted to try and understand the ways of giving twins, since understanding that could easily help grow the German population. He tried to see if twins had some sort of connection, which he tried to prove by savagely abusing one child while the other one sit perfectly still in another room. He also was the one who started the whole centipede theory. Most of these experiments were disasters and failed to prove anything useful, being mostly known for his extreme empathy of Untermenschen and extreme cruelty and violence. But what if some of them were right? Some of his papers were kept, but the Nazis did destroy a lot of evidence in the end of the war, where some of Mengel's papers most likely went with them to try and rid evidence of his war crimes. Even though a majority of them would most likely just be failed experiments which would only prove to be extremely gruesome, some of his many experiments might have proven useful in trying to understand human nature, even if it did end in twins being sewn together or killed. But we're most likely never going to know since they were most likely burnt. Bloop. Bloop was an ultra-low frequent noise that was detected in the remote area of the southeastern Pacific Ocean, which we don't entirely know what came from. As you can hear in this audio file, the noise might sound kind of low, but considering the fact that it's from the water, it's actually a very loud noise being oppressed by the water. It's actually the loudest noise ever recorded from the deep seas. There have been some theories put forward as to what could cause such a huge noise, one of them being, fittingly, an iceberg. One of the theories is an icequake coming all the way from the South Georgia Islands. Icequakes are known for making a similar sound, yet it isn't entirely certain that it was an icequake, mainly because of the long distance it had to travel. Staying on the theme of icebergs, some said it's ice rubbing off each other, which made the sound. This sound could also have come from a lot of other areas than just south of Georgia as well. Some say it was man-made, either a bomb or a submarine. But finally, and more creepy, is that this was the sound of a giant animal that we have yet to discover. The giant noise that it made, it did have some similarities with the noise made by marine animals, having the same variation and frequency. Yet the sound is so giant that it would instantly outrank even whales, which are usually one of the loudest animals on Earth because of the giant size. This might have been the sound of a deep sea creature so extremely large that it would dwarf whales and make one of the biggest sounds ever known. Truly, this is a mystery for the ages. And all because of one single bloop. Dead Internet Theory. The dead internet theory is a theory that makes most people concerned about the future of the internet as well as the present to some degree. According to the dead internet theory, more and more bots have become a part of the internet and are used for whatever their purpose is. Yet we don't know how many bots are actually currently on the web. We don't know if there are more bots on the web than there are humans. Since the majority of the web could be bots, then we can know that the people we're talking to in discussions on Facebook, 4chan, Instagram, Reddit, and so forth are actual humans. We could be speaking to bots, or speaking because of bots. The theory therefore says that the internet isn't a place filled with freedom, but we are actually being controlled by the bot owners, who has an army of puppets who can make it look like a majority of people on the web believing something that they actually don't. This is said to be the result of capitalism, and no, this isn't some kind of socialist theory, but an actual warning of what could happen to the free internet if people can just hurl an army of puppets at us to make it look like their opinion is more worthy than ours. A majority of the internet is owned by bots, and they're only growing. Or are they? We can prove that there is a majority of bots in the web, since we get the same answer on both if we ask a bot or a human. So do bots actually rule the net, or are we still in control? We don't know. A great mystery of our safety on the web. Dark Web Hydra Organization. The Hydra Organization is a mystery that we might get an answer to in the coming future. On the dark web, which is filled with all the crimes the internet has to offer, there might be coming a new boss to look out for. The Russian organization of Hydra has announced a lot of new plans and projects which will give them more influence over the dark web. It's also coming with perfect timing as the English speaking part of Dark Web is in chaos. Hydra, therefore, has a good chance of taking over as a new overhead, both with a new Tor like engine and more. Although their activities has been postponed for some time because of COVID. Yeah, even criminals have to look out to not spread the virus. Hydra is already an existing darknet market specializing in drugs. So we know that they are actual serious business and an actual site. But will they get the power to take over the dark web? Will it be the new face of internet crime? Well, we don't know right now, but the future will surely tell us all we need to know. The Wyoming Incident Rituals. The Wyoming Incident is an ARG that started back in 2006. Personally, I love the name of it. It sounds like someone accidentally made a satanic ritual. Apparently, this is the first real ARG on the web. The video shows a lot of classic ARG horror, like some text, faces, and bad graphics, but it's also weirdly enough had a game you could play. Almost a kind of challenge. While the original ARG is not that mysterious, the ritual, as it's called, is something to look into. If you want to do the challenge, then all you need to do is be in a dark room, listen to some faint music that scares or disturbs you, and then close your eyes. Now imagine a monster coming through your window or door. Keep imagining, and it should feel real. This ritual is one that you probably shouldn't do as it can bring you major anxiety attacks and paranoia, which can last for years. And even though this is scary and unnerving, it's actually more of a prank than a mystery. Yeah. But maybe there are still some mysteries hidden here and there. The real Nikola Tesla files. Oh, good. A scientific mystery I can understand. So Nikola Tesla, a Serbian inventor who discovered some cool stuff like this and this, apparently has some files which we never got to see, or, well, the public never got to see. Back in 1943, when Tesla was living in America, he was found dead in his New York hotel apartment at an age of 86, having died from coronary thrombosis. His room was filled with many files of his latest theories and inventions, which could apparently be proven useful for the ongoing war effort against the Axis powers. He apparently had a death ray idea, which we don't really know what was. When he died, the government seized his documents so it wouldn't go into the wrong hands. Yet, to this day, we have only gotten a very few amount of these documents back. We don't entirely know what his plans were, and what was in those files are still a mystery to this day. Most of his papers were sent to Belgrade, where they are stored to this day, but 20 out of the 80 papers weren't sent, most likely being in America's hand. Or maybe they were lost, we don't know. But what is in those papers? Could it be something world changing? Could it have changed the war effort quickly? What did Tesla have in his mind? 0-point energy fields. Oh no, more science. I think it's gonna be more of a mystery for me to understand this than the actual mystery in itself. Well, to try and get my monkey brain to truly understand what is going on here, basically, 0-point energy fields are a scientific theory that says that it's the lowest kind of energy any quantum mechanics system can have. Apparently, out in the emptiness of space, there is no total emptiness, but zero energy, which just kind of floats around. This energy is apparently so powerful, if treated right, that it would outnumber nuclear energy by a metric fuck ton. It would be so intense that a single light bulb of zero energy would be enough to boil all the world's oceans. So, kind of powerful. This theory is attached with a lot of other theories, like the uncertainty principle, and then all of these funny looking math things. It goes very deep because it's science, but the moral of the story is that some kind of very powerful energy might exist if treated right. The real Holy Grail discovery. The Holy Grail is an ancient cup used by Jesus Christ during the Last Supper, to show that the wine was his blood and that it should represent the pact between God and man. This grail, having a close relationship with Jesus Christ, is said to have divine powers being able to perform miracles. And even if you don't believe in the magical powers of Christendom, Jesus as a person most likely existed, and therefore his grail might as well. A lot of people have tried to find the grail, but there is a lot of rumors on where it is, both in the Basilica of San Isidro, Israel, South America, Bornholm. It could be anywhere really. In the first one, the Basilica in Lyon, Spain claims to have the Holy Grail, but since it looked like this, and Jesus wasn't anything close to being rich, then I doubt. While some claim the adventure is over and that it has been found, some claim that it's still out there, and some claim that it doesn't even exist. It's a bit of a mystery, if the thing is even real. Golf rumors. According to Vertigo 22, a huge conspiracy website, there is a lot to talk about when it comes to these rumors. There has been 3 incidents where golf has gone too far, but what exactly golf is differs from theory to theory. In one incident, a nameless female attended an after party after a golf tournament. When she entered the basement of the party, she found people doing a satanic ritual. She later reported this to Politico, which made an article about it. After this, people began to discuss what had happened. Some of these pages from forums were removed, and people threw a hissy fit because of people hitting balls with sticks. When some people tried to research this a bit deeper, they found nothing. When more rumors came out that the person reporting this mysteriously died, and more proof, it all got overshadowed by Tiger Woods' sex scandal. Very mysterious. And dumb. Not that mysterious, but still a mystery. The second rumor, it is more, is about a man called Robert Golf who was allegedly hired by the US government and became a subject of MK Ultra. More is not known. It ends there. The third and dumbest, oh yeah, the dumbest, is that of the GOLF, or the Global Oscillations at Low Frequencies. Just as a heads up, this is so dumb that even the person writing it isn't even sure if this is serious or not. Golf rumors may not have to do with sports, but rather with the global oscillation of low frequencies, part of the Solar and Hemispherical Observatory (SOHO) spacecraft. The golf aspect monitors the sun and has revealed some very interesting things about it, such as how the sun's core spins 4 times faster than the sun itself. While that might just sound like a cool physics fact, that is just the start. There are rumors that there is something amiss with the sun that we don't know since it's being covered up. Perhaps there's something sinister, terrifying, or even concerning about the sun. Perhaps the truth is life on the sun. Perhaps the sun will die far sooner than we expected it would. Or perhaps the sun is a living creature. Don't say I didn't warn you. So, to sum it all up, there have been some rumors about golf which we don't exactly know what it is, and is probably affiliated with satanic rituals. The rabbit hole has gone so deep that we still don't know what golf is. If Satan even has anything to do with this, or if it was simply trolls having a joyous laugh. Ancient coronagraphs. So this one actually boggled my head. What does he mean by this? The creator had this to say on Reddit. Well, let's say in one historical era, we have downgraded a bit in our technology. Before we downgraded, don't you think we had some kind of device? How were the pyramids built? I believe ancient chronographs, devices, and contraptions able to take pictures exist, but are either hidden from the public view or never discovered. I have heard of this on a website, but the website doesn't exist anymore. I believe that Export on 4chan mentioned this quite often, so check it out. Alright, I get it, alright. So, theoretically, let's say that humanity downgraded in technology because of a great disaster, like the collapse of the Bronze Age. Some of the devices which would now be left forgotten would probably not be made again, at least not in the same way by 100%. But these devices will still be out there, somewhere, left to be found. We would only know that devices like these were left alone if we found them, meaning that we can't prove that such devices have been left forgotten so many years ago. So, have technology that we used to own been left forgotten in the ages? Are they still out there in the deserts? We will only know if we ever find them. Or rather, that's what I think he's saying by that. The Georgian Stones. Known as the Georgian Stones, these depopulation stones tells humanity a lot about how to survive after the apocalypse and how not to end up in a state of chaos. There are a total of 10 guides on the stone in 8 different languages that shall make a better world when the old one has been rotten away. The guides are the following. Maintain humanity under 500 million in perpetual balance with nature. Guide reproduction wisely, improving fitness and diversity. Unite humanity with a living new language. Rule passion, faith, tradition, and all things with temperate reason. Protect people and nations with fair laws and just courts. Let all nations rule internally, revolving external disputes in a world court. Avoid petty laws and useless officials. Pretty based. Balance personal rights with social duties. Prize truth, beauty, love, seeking harmony with the infinite. Be not a cancer on earth. Leave room for nature. Leave room for nature. Placed in a remote area in the state of Georgia, USA, these stones are supposed to be a guide for the future civilization to survive. And even though it sounds really straightforward, there is more to this than meets the eye. The author and creator behind this rock is unknown. The reasoning? Unknown. The thoughts behind the tips? Unknown. The need to set this up? Unknown. We know nothing. One day, some bloke just made these stones and left. It has therefore become a hotbed for conspiracy theories. A lot of people call the stone satanic for some reason, thinking that it's against the teaching of Christ. It's a stone about surviving the apocalypse, but okay. Another theory says that this is a template made by the New Order, wanting to control the population once the last one has died. Very pessimistic today, huh? The final theory, which I think makes a bit more sense, is the fact that this was made to ensure humanity's survival after a nuclear apocalypse. The reasoning behind this is it was made in 1979 during the Cold War, where a lot of people feared the end of civilization. We might know its purpose, but we don't know anything else. Well, now you've unraveled the mysteries of the world. And the scams, but mostly, you know. You are now intelligent, as you now know all there is to know about the world and the mysterious forces behind it. Yeah, I know some of them was pure bollocks, but a majority of the mysteries on this list is enough to make you scratch your head in confusement. What do you think about these world riddles? Will they ever be solved? Or will they ever be a mystery? If you like the video, make sure to like the video. Makes sense? And if you have anything to say about me, the iceberg, or the video as a whole, then feel free to use your freedom of speech down in the comment sections below. And finally, if you want to see more, then feel free to subscribe. Actually, now that you're here, and the video is over and all that, and I can begin to commercialize myself like a failure, what is this? Look at this. That's the lowest I've ever seen. The video's over, you can leave now, I'm just rambling, but what the fuck is this? Also, more funny charts, look at this. The boys, the lads, we're here. I mean, the ladies are lacking, which is, normal for me, but hey, lads. Yeah, that was all. I just want to talk about charts for a second.